At first, the birds are chirping, the dogs are barking, white picket fences, brand new Lamborghinis, beachfront properties. Love is in the air. But then comes lies, greed, and cheating, which turns a beautiful marriage into ugly, bloody, and expensive. We know that not all marriages have a happy ending, especially those of the rich and famous, athletes and celebrities. That's why we bring you Celebrity Divorce Gore, filling you in on all the divorces of the celebrities. Welcome to Celebrity Divorce Gore. Welcome to Celebrity Divorce Gore. I am your host, Jeff Carter, and tonight I'm talking about two major celebrities, a beautiful actress along with a star-studded and well-known actor, of course. There's always good looks somewhere in the mix, I would say, when this celebrity thinks. And the two I'm going to talk about, we're going to start with a beautiful female who started her main career with Dawson's Creek. As you put your finger to your head, who is this? She was also in Batman Begins, the beautiful Katie Holmes. Of course, who was she married to? Well, she was married to the widely talented and also always in the news for his crazy religion, but we're not going to talk about his religion, Tom Cruise. I take that back. We have to talk a little bit about his religion because that's mainly why this whole thing happened. But we'll get into all that. We have to talk about different people. To give you a little background on Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes is from Toledo, Ohio. Yes, Ohio-bred female she is. Born in 1978. She's did really well, starting in 98 around since Dawson's Creek. Pretty much, with Batman Begins, The Ice Storm, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and How I Met Your Mother, and a couple other ones. Abandoned. Katie is the youngest of 5 children. Her mom is a philanthropist, and her dad, thankfully to go along with our little divorce talk show here, is an attorney. They wanted her to be a doctor, but we'll get to that in a second. She is, like I said, youngest of 5 children. She has 3 sisters, 1 brother. She went to all-female Notre Dame Academy. She was a 4.0 student, of course, beautiful and bright. She used to perform at St. John's Jesuit, which is a all-male school. She would do high school plays and everything, which she was a waitress in Hello Dolly and also Lola in Damn Yankees. She scored a 1310 out of 1600 on SAT. Beautiful and smart. She's the ones you want to tie down. And was accepted to Columbia University. Her father did want her to become a doctor, like I said. At the age of 14, she began classes at modeling school in Toledo, Ohio, ran by Margaret O'Brien, who took her to the International Modeling and Talent Association, also known as MTA, competition held in New York City in 1996. Eventually, Holmes was signed to an agent after performing a monologue from To Kill a Mockingbird. So, and then it goes into Dawson's Creek, which obviously I remember that. I mean, of course, I was raised up in the 90s. I love 90s shows. That was one of the really nice ones, that and 90210. But we're not going to talk about all those people right now today. I'm sure in future we will have a show about one of those guys, I'm sure. The beautiful Katie was named annually since 1999 from the British and American editions of FHM, which, if you people out there don't know what that is, that's like the male version of 17 magazine. We just love FHM. We learn so much in those magazines. A lot of pictures, but we learn a lot. As one of the sexiest women in the world from 1999 forward, like I said. So that's 14 years, if I carry the 1 and minus, 14 years of being one of the sexiest women in the world. That's nice. I like to be one of the sexiest men in my apartment complex, let alone one of the sexiest women in the world. I mean, not that I'm a woman, but either way, I don't know. I'll take the best, sexiest or best dressed in my apartment complex. But okay, anywho, back to Katie Holmes, and we're not talking about me. She was named one of People's 50 most beautiful people in 2003. Its sibling Teen People also declared her one of 25 hottest stars under 25 that year. And in 2005, People said she was one of the top 10 dressed stars that year. Oh, beautiful, smart, and knows how to dress. It's my type of girl. If anybody knows her personally on her Facebook or something, tell her, Mr. Carter, I got you on a date. I mean, it might be like Popeyes or a local restaurant, but I got you, Katie. We can go. She has appeared in advertisements for Garnier Lumia hair color, Coach Leather Goods, of course, clothing retailer, The Gap, another well-known thing. She has her own clothing line, Holmes and Yang, with longtime stylist Jeannie Liang. Model Heidi Klum is a fan of the line. In 2009, Holmes announced the launch of dance scholarship fund called the Dizzy Feet Foundation. She became the new face of Ann Taylor's Spring 2011 collection. April 2011, she ranked 6th in People magazine's annual 100 Most Beautiful issue. Holmes and Yang presented their fashion line in New York Fashion Week for the first time in 2012 September. Holmes also acted as the face of Bobbi Brown Cosmetics this spring, 2013, as well as campaign for Iris Jewelry. So, she dated co-star Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek for a little while, early in the show's run, of course. Holmes met actor Chris Klein. I remember Chris Klein in 2000. But Klein's and Holmes were engaged in late 2003, but early 2005, she and Klein ended their relationship. Oh, with the breaking up as amicable as it could be. Klein and Holmes have remained friends of varying degrees since the breakup, and some unfounded rumors also had their romance being rekindled in the wake of this amazing divorce that we're going to talk about today. Right now, we're going to talk about it. Mr. Cruz. But, of course, they were denied both by Klein and Holmes. Of course, you know how the paparazzi and everything is. But that's pretty much what I am. I'm doing my research and finding all these creepy things about them. Holmes gave birth to their first child, her first child anyway, daughter named Suri. That's Persian name. The Los Angeles Times summarized the written statement Cruz released on the birth, saying the name is a word with origins in both Persian and Hebrew. In Persian, it means red rose, and in Hebrew, it means princess. Oh, it was claimed in the release. Hebrew linguists had disputed their definitions, claiming that they are incorrect. That's like those people that go to tattoo shops and get a Chinese symbol saying it means pride and it means mommy's foot or something weird or cockroach of the sea or something like that. See, you gotta be careful with those things, man. You better do your research. Anyway, I think it's fair to say they have made a mistake here. They are variations of the way the Hebrew name for princess is spelled, but I've never seen it this way. Oh no, that's not good. The first photographs of Suri appeared in October 2006 issue of Vanity Fair, shot by Annie Leibovitz, and became the publication's second best-selling issue of all time, selling more than 700,000 copies because of Tom and beautiful Katie Holmes' baby. Of course, I keep saying beautiful Katie Holmes because I'm highly attracted to her and her dark brunette hair, and she's beautiful, of course. But Tom, come on. What female, my mom and every other female in the world, has thought of him being a beautiful male? He is. He's a great-looking guy. I'll admit it. I'm a straight guy, and I'll admit he is a good-looking guy. He's got a great smile, great teeth, and he's a really good actor. I mean, there's a bunch of movies I like by him, and he goes way back. I mean, if you want to talk about movies, he started back when I was a negative 1 year old. That's right. I was born in 1982. He starred in Taps, and I did a little research on him. Actually, I did a lot of research on him and both of them, and what he did was he was going for another role. They had him for another role, and he just did so well that the producer of that said, "You know what? No, we're gonna bring you out. We're gonna bring you in for sure." And so they brought him up to a better spot. He was a more of a starring role. So very good for him. Stars George C. Scott in that movie, of course. That was wow, very good. Very good movie. Taps. Okay, anyway. He was in The Outsiders. Who would remember The Outsiders? Risky Business. Big movie, of course. Top Gun, which has probably got to be his number one movie. I say that, but then when I keep going up the list, I see more of amazing movies he was in. He's been in so many good movies. So we go with Top Gun. He was in the movie Cocktail. He was in Days of Thunder, racing movie, of course. He was also in A Few Good Men. Awesome movie. You know, you can't handle the truth. But he didn't say that, of course, Jack Nicholson. But Mission Impossibles, which they're also talking about bringing out the fifth one now. Eyes Wide Shut, Magnolia, Vanilla Sky. That was a weird movie for me, but whatever. It's a good movie. Backflash, and that was hard for me to follow. I don't know. ADHD, I guess. Minority Report, Last Samurai, Collateral, War of the Worlds. I mean, these are all Valkyrie. Rock of Ages, which came out not too long ago. Jack Reacher, which I haven't seen, and I want to check that out. Oblivion, which also got really good stuff. And then it looks like he's got Edge of Tomorrow, Van Helsing, and Mission Impossible 5. Like I said, they're coming out. So, Tom Cruise. One thing, I was watching a video on him. There's, no matter what happens with his movies, if it flops or whatever, they still make $200 million profit. If he makes a horrible movie, he still makes $200 million. Like, not him, but the movie profit on them is still so high because of how big that name is. He's something else. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos on him, and I tell you, he's a cocky son of a gun right there. He really is. But when you have succeeded so well and make that much money and do everything you got going on. And the main thing that focuses when people think Tom Cruise, oh, I don't know if I like him because of this or whatever. It's mainly because of Scientology, and I've been trying to learn more about it. I've watched an hour and a half long video the other day on it, and it's a lot of stuff that just seems a little off. But I'm not here to, like I said, I'm not here to bash the religion, and whoever believes in it, that's on you, and that's fine. But I mean, from watching it seemed like there's a lot of reporters trying to find out more, and they had tails, like people were tailing them around town, and they were spying on them, and it was just a real different situation. And at first, apparently, Katie, I mean, she obviously knew about it because he's been in it for what, I think it was 25, 30 years, I think, or it might be 20 years now. I think it is 20 years. Sorry, I got so much up here on the computer already, but it was like 20 years that he has believed and been in that. And obviously it's done him success, and he really believes in that thing. But the thing about Scientology is from what it seems, is they look at everybody as an adult. It doesn't matter if you're 3 months old or if you're 112 years old, you're seen as an adult. And so they kind of start expecting you to do things as an adult. And that's one thing that Katie Holmes was not really trying to fill out, was the fact that, you know what, I'm trying to have have my daughter at 6 years old start doing certain things, like treated like an adult. And she's not feeling that now. Like, she's just, I don't know. That just doesn't look like what she wants to have for her daughter's upbringing, which I could understand that, like, makes sense. Like, that whole thing is just kind of crazy from what I've learned. But I'm not going to keep talking about Scientology, of course. Tom Cruise he was in a high $400 million worth range. Of course, like things like this divorce, which cost a little bit of money, I'm sure. Right now, he's estimated worth of around, I don't know, $270 million. I'm happy that when I have $270 in my pocket. When I think that, I'm like, man, you know how many McDoubles that is for McDonald's? That's like 250. I mean, you got to figure in tax or so, 250 million McDoubles. I could make a house out of McDoubles. Tom Cruise made a strong impression in the teen comedy Risky Business in 1983. I was 2 then, by the way, walking around coloring things. And then had his first box office smash as the fighter, jock, maverick, in Top Gun. Of course, that was 1986, so I was 4. And his cocky grin was propelled higher onto Hollywood's A-list thanks to a string of successful movies. Cruise began dating actress Katie Holmes in 2005, dubbed Tomcat. Isn't that nice? Tomcat. By the tabloids. They had a daughter, Shuri, of course, that was 2006, and married in Italy on 18th of November in 2006. Cruise is a prominent member of the Church of Scientology. On June 29, 2012, after 5 years of marriage, Cruise and Holmes announced their divorce. According to TMZ, Katie is asking for a suitable amount of child support. Katie also asked for a division property in her divorce documents, although the couple signed a prenup that was based in California law. Wow. So I'm looking at different movies here. And Mission Impossible 2 in 2000, he made $20 million on that movie. Eyes Shut, $20 million. Mission Impossible, the original, $70 million. Let's look at the low ones. Taps, he made $50,000. Imagine that. Like, for one, I know it's hectic stuff when you're doing these movies and everything, but $50,000 for your first movie. Then he moves up $25,000 and $75,000 for Risky Business. Then bumps up to $500,000 in Legend, $2 million in Top Gun, only $1 million in Color of Money. Then Cocktail was $3 million. Rain Man was $3 million. I mean, some of these, Rain Man, what a great movie. God, I love the 90s. 90s baby all day. Well, I'm an 80s baby, but I was growing up in the 90s. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, to go back on this divorce. It turns out that they're pretty much, I don't know, like the 2 movies that he just did around the time of his divorce was Jack Reacher and Oblivion. Together, those 2 movies have grossed nearly $500 million worldwide. It's no wonder that, industry-wise, Cruise is still considered one of the most bankable guys in the planet, with Alma rating of about 97. Personal income? Like I told you, a lot of money. Forbes says his current year-to-year earnings at $35 million. Not too shabby, I would say. No. I don't make it anywhere close to that. But much of Cruise's box office is happening overseas. But so what? Money is money. Darn right. Absolutely right. And speaking of money, Holmes has some too. Not so much. Not as much as Cruise. Of course not. I mean, she had, like I said, she has some big movies, and I like him in those roles, but not like major roles like him. Let's see, Days and Nights, she's got that coming out, and a couple other movies. But not as much as his $270 million. But Hollywood is taking her seriously as an actress. I hope so. That smile, man, takes me serious. Cause a car accident for me, for sure. So perhaps more significantly, Holmes has been the face of Bobbi Brown Cosmetics for months, in an arrangement that may be more than your typical art house movie gig. Woman Wear Daily estimates she's making between $2 million and $3 million for a multi-year deal for that. And let's remember, as long as Cruise is doing well, Holmes is doing well, at least in one department. Whatever divorce settlement they reached, she gets a piece of stardom, even if just in child support, which is very true. Family law attorney Steve Mindell tells. Although the full financial details of the divorce were never publicly disclosed, Holmes reportedly collects about $400,000 annually from her ex in child support alone. Thank you, Tom. Show me the money, she says. Show me the money, like in Jerry Maguire, because that's a lot of dough right there. $400,000 in child support. I know people that get mad about paying $400 or $500 a month, and you're talking about $400,000 just in child support alone to support their 7-year-old daughter, Sudi. Wasn't that Rose again? Do we know that for sure? We don't know that. Those payments will continue until Suri turns 18, and ultimately about $4.8 million in child support alone. But they never released how much money. I know I'm a failure to you guys. We want to talk about that. What is going on? Why can't I get that number? Well, anyway, I don't know. It's crazy. They're trying to find everything out, about them and stuff, but so that's the whole thing. She's got a real high-end lawyer right now. Still going to have that. They have a big concern about protecting Suri. And, of course, him too. It's weird. I don't know. I wish I could tell more and talk more about the Scientology thing, but I don't want to offend anybody out there that really does believe in it, But the whole thing's real weird on how it's going. She was a supporter of it the entire time until now, and she just finally said, you know what, this is it. So, thanks to you, Tom. Miss Beautiful Katie Holmes is going to get back with Chris Klein or somebody else, and you're going to pay for everything off $400,000 a year just off child support. So while she's making her money on $3 million or between $2 and $3 million on other stuff she does, like, doing the beauty and cosmetic line, she's making that a year just on that. Not to mention other shows she's going to be in, other movies she's going to be in, other endorsements she's going to be in, a part of or whatever. Because of you, Tom, and your Mission Impossible talented jumping on trains and stuff, and Rain Man and gambling with your brother that's just can see everything and know all these predict numbers. You predicting $4.8 million just for child support. That's a long time, my friend. $400,000 a year. But to him, that's chump change. That's $270 million that he's worth right now. Imagine what it's going to be like when he comes out with another blockbuster, which is, inevitable. It happens every year or every other year or whatever. There's never a time. He's just one of those star-studded actors that always comes out with an amazing movie. So I totally don't see that happening. I don't know. From watching all this stuff, though, my whole opinion of him has changed. He's definitely very prideful about certain things, especially his religion, and I'm sure he'll find somebody else. He's been with other beautiful actresses and people before, so I'm sure he'll be fine. And $400,000, he's like, here you go. That's chump change, I guess. So, all right. Well, there's your little story of Miss Katie and Tom Cruise. Hopefully, you learned a little bit about them, and I can entertain you a little bit about their weird relationship and the divorce. Please take care.